Welcome to Elevate. This is Shane Evans, Massage Heights co-founder and CEO, and I am happy to have Edin Demirov on today. Edin is the area lead massage therapist for the John Weathers Group in Dallas, Texas. John's got 3 locations. Edin has been with us as a team member for over 5 years right now, has attended a few conferences in his lifetime of Massage Heights. And I know that you've won some awards, or your retreat has won some awards.
Yes.
What? Tell me about the awards.
I know I won, it was a Peak Performance Award for, I think it was like Elevate the Everyday.
Yes, the Elevate the Everyday Award,
And
yes.
Yeah, a couple years ago. Our store we won, I think it was year-over-year
Gross revenue, yep.
Gross revenue.
For Stonebridge Ranch.
For Stonebridge.
Yes.
And then, you guys have your convention. Well, John will have his own like mini convention
Yeah.
where he pulls all the stores usually it's in January where you get all the numbers from the whole year. And then he actually hands us like all little individual awards based on top performers just in his retreat. So
You've won
we have
some
our
awards
own
there.
mini version
Awesome.
of what you guys do inside.
Awesome. How many
Yeah.
awards have you won?
3. 3 with John.
Yes, that's great. I love it. Why are you laughing?
It's just funny because I don't know.
You know what? I think it's super awesome that he does that. And, not all of our strategic partners do things like that. So it's really cool.
It's funny because, you can't have everybody at every meeting, but everybody will show up to that meeting because everybody wants to win an award.
Of course.
Everyone wants to see how they did for the whole year for themselves and see where they measure up with everybody. It's kind of like this little mini internal competition that we have. Like, some therapists will joke with each other like, hey, well, I'm going to get the award next year, so, like, don't worry.
Love it.
So it's kind of funny because John is very tight-lipped about it, and, like, not even I know. They'll ask me questions, and I'm like, I have no idea.
Who's getting the award?
Who's going to get awards?
Yeah.
Like, John just does it all on his own, so
Yeah.
I don't find out. And it's like, until you guys find out, and so.
That's fun.
But they're always trying to, like, see if I know something, and I'm like, I don't know anything. I'm totally clueless, so. It is what it is.
That's great. That's great, though. It keeps it interesting and
it's
fun.
fresh, yeah.
I just want to let's just start with your background. Just tell me a little bit about, kind of what got you into massage, what led you to Massage Heights. Just give me some history.
So my story is actually not quite as fun as some other people that I hear. So when I was younger, when I went to college, I went to Texas Tech and I went to college for accounting. And I have friends who are accountants and they like all hated their job. And I was like, well, I don't want to go to work and like hate my job. And, they're all isolated and I like love being around people. So I was like, well, maybe I don't want to do this. So I changed things up and I went to Parker University and I just went to massage school through there. So, because I was like, I don't want to be bored in a room alone by myself all day. That doesn't sound like fun.
But you're kind of like that in a massage room.
I kind of am, but I actually get to like be
interact
with other
people. Yeah,
So
that's true.
it's funny because I think about that sometimes. I'm like, I'm still in a room,
Yes.
almost alone, but
It's very personal.
It's very
Yeah.
personal. Yeah, it's not numbers on a screen. It's you're with people helping them.
So you went to school to be an accountant. You
Yeah.
changed your mind, decided to get into massage therapy. How long ago was that? And what was your first job as a
My-
massage therapist?
My first job, thinking back, I guess my first job was as a massage therapist. The dean of the school that I went to, he and I like grew pretty close while I was going through school there, and he was like, "Hey, I have a job with the Dallas Stars. If you want to go do stuff with them," and I was like, "Okay, sure,
That
why
sounds
not?"
cool,
And
yeah.
so I did work with the Stars, and I did work with the Rangers, and then I did work with FC Dallas. But it was awesome, but I felt like I was still missing something from it. So I actually left that. I went to work for a medical practice for a while. They did all like the knee injections and all the crazy stuff, integrated massage and everything. It was super fun. I just did not enjoy driving an hour to work every day.
Wasn't convenient.
Was not convenient. And
Yeah.
so I know Angie's was on the show. And
Yeah.
so the Stonebridge Ranch store at the time was 1 minute from where I lived. And so when I met John, the store wasn't even open. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I interviewed with him and he took me to the store and he opened the doors and it was like just an empty room of
Shell, yeah.
stuff. Yeah, just empty shell. And he's like, there's going to be all this stuff over here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, sure. And so I actually went to the Windhaven retreat to do my
Mm-hmm.
interview with him, like
Mm-hmm.
to do massage stuff. But I was just looking for something like super close to home. And I was
Yeah.
like, you can't beat a 1 minute drive.
Sure, super convenient.
Yeah,
So that was why you left your former position
yes.
and why you ended up coming to Massage Heights. So for
Yeah,
you, it was
there were
about the
some other
convenience.
things involved, like not to talk, negative, but a lot of it was like insurance billing, and it felt less personalized with people. Like if someone's insurance is like, you get 15 minutes with this person, well, they got 15 minutes, or this person get 30 minutes. So it felt like you were just doing the bare minimum, even though you felt like these people needed more, but
Mm-hmm.
it was all just insurance billing. So I kind of
Understood.
was like, I want something different from that. And so I had never worked for a spa before.
Mm-hmm.
Doing like sports and then going into medical and then going to the spa world is actually all backwards that most therapists
Yeah.
do.
Uh-huh.
Whereas like this world is technically better, I think.
Yeah.
Like you get more time with people to focus on like what they need.
Yep.
So
Yep. So other than the convenience of Massage Heights to your home,
mhm.
what were some of the things that attracted you to the business? And obviously when you saw it, it was just a shell. And so that was John just casting this vision, right? So kudos to John for casting the
Kudos to
vision.
John.
Yes. But what, I guess ultimately, what has kept you there? What is it about working with John Weathers or working for Massage Heights that keeps you?
I guess being there, it's also great. Before, when I did stuff in the sports world, um, I was basically by myself. I got to see very few therapists around. When I went to more medical practice, there was only two other therapists there,
Mm-hmm.
and we're so busy, we never got to spend time with each other. Whereas here, now that we have like, I don't know, 15 to 20 therapists, you see tons of different people. They're different styles, varieties. You learn off of each other. So it's great to be able to talk to somebody
Mm-hmm.
and you have a break at a certain time with them, like, hey, let's chat about this, or get with them later. It doesn't feel as weird being with those people. You just get to learn more from them because they all have different experiences and different backgrounds, and
Yeah.
everybody just kind of, it's like a giant, I don't know, melting pot of brain power together where everybody just kind of figures it out together. So you just feel more like you have a giant team. Some people like probably being alone,
Mm-hmm.
like those individual practice therapists, but I like being around other people. I like
Yeah.
people in general. So to me, it's like that's a super win for me.
I hear that a
So,
lot. It's the camaraderie.
yeah,
It's the you're with like-minded individuals, people that have a passion for people and caring for people and helping them feel better, and that you have the ability, because you're around so many therapists, because it's really all that we do for the most
right.
part, right? That you have that opportunity to learn from one another, so that enhances your skills. And I'm sure you probably have provided a lot of insights to those, because with your sports background, which again you said is really kind of flip flopped,
hmm
I'm sure you probably brought a lot of those skills into the retreats and have been able to help our therapists get better in those areas.
Yeah, a lot of like when a therapist is brand new out of school and they come and work with us, a lot of them are super nervous
Mm-hmm.
about like, oh God, this is my first job, and these are the first people. I'm like, these people think you've been doing this a million years. Like, breathe, calm down, go through it, and then I'm like, we'll get together sometime later. I used to be a little bit better at it, but usually about 30 days in, I'll get with them, and be like, hey, what are you still struggling with? What do you feel like you need help with? And
Mm-hmm.
I'll show them different ways to tackle the problem that they're maybe not used to. Different schools teach different things, and sometimes it's, you might watch, how to do deep tissue this way or learn it this exact way, but somebody else could show you a completely different way to do it, and that might click with your brain better versus what was originally shown to you. And so it's nice to be able to bounce off different ideas with different therapists and
Yeah.
just like I do things a certain way doesn't make it the right way every
Sure.
time. There's different approaches to everything, and that's totally okay in this world. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Totally customized to the body that you're
hmm
working on and for the therapists themselves and the skill set that they have, right?
right.
So, you explained your first encounter with Massage Heights. Tell me again how long you've been a therapist.
I've been a therapist. I graduated in 2012.
Okay.
So seven years.
Okay. So you did
Yeah.
the sports stuff for a couple years,
Yeah,
and
did that
then
for a
medical, and
year,
then
medical for a year, and then I went to work for John. Actually, not a diss to John. I didn't think I'd be there as long just because I was like, I wanted to try so many different varieties of things, and it
yeah,
just worked out better than I anticipated. So
yeah.
I've been there for 5+ years.
Well, let's get into that more specifically because I mean you talked about the camaraderie of the just other therapists, but what is it? Is there anything else about John or the just the environment that you guys are working in as far as the culture goes that you really appreciate?
I guess one thing, like Michelle, John, and myself have all been there since day one.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've learned a lot together.
Mm-hmm.
None of us are perfect. I remember, we all made mistakes at certain things, but I think you feel like as a team, you're learning and evolving.
Mm-hmm.
So it just makes you want to stay more because you're like, you think of all the stuff you've been through together and like where we started when we were like nothing. Like we
Yeah.
would get excited when like, oh, we did 20 massages like the entire week as a
Yeah.
store. That's like an exciting thing. You're like, oh, we did it. And now you're doing like 1,400 units a month and you're
Yes.
like, oh yeah, we need more. Like that's not enough. And so I think of like where we were back then and I'm like, I would not want to probably go through that process again because I feel like we've done all this together. Like
Mm-hmm.
might as well just stay here for the long haul. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys have built something from really the
yeah.
ground up, and you've seen it evolve.
Yeah, all the
and
culture and everything. Like we used to have these big long meetings. Like, what are we gonna do? Like to build this culture and different things. And it's hard to think about 4 years ago when we sat in these rooms for hours, and now it's just everything clicks to you so fast. Where you're like, oh yeah, I know exactly what John's gonna think about a situation. I know what Michelle's gonna think. Like we all
Mhm.
just know each other's thoughts, and it's just easy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
easy now. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you've got a family with each other. You
Yeah.
know each other really well, and you know kind of how far you can push the boundaries
Yes.
as well as
Yeah.
what
You know what fights to pick, what not fights
yeah.
to pick.
Yeah. Well, that's a family, right?
Yeah.
That's really what that
Now
comes
that
down
people
to.
always forget, like with your family, you always squabble with them the most, but they love you the most, so
So true.
you go through a lot together.
That's true. People won't tell you the truth if they don't care, right? Like
That is definitely true. Yeah.
it's so true. Let's talk a little bit about influence. Is there anyone who's been influential or helpful through your career that you would like to call special attention to? Is anybody that?
I mean, there's no one. It's not a specific person at Massage Heights. I have a couple instructors that I still keep in contact with that I went through school with. Both of them happen to be named Rick,
Ah,
and so both of them have taught me different things. I mean, of course, different instructors are like, well, my way's better or my way's better than this.
yeah.
But I'm like, I still take information from both of them that have helped make me I feel like the therapist that I am when I work
Yeah.
with people. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they don't work for Massage Heights.
No, that's okay. I wasn't even looking for a specific person at Massage Heights. Just more about influence. You have somebody that is sort of a mentor to you, or
Yeah, 2
that
mentors. Yeah, I'm lucky.
Yeah,
People get usually 1. I get 2.
it's true, and they're both named Rick.
They're both
You
named
too.
Rick. Yeah.
Do you have any other guests that stick out in your mind where massage has helped them in a meaningful way? Is there a story that you can tell us?
Yeah, I have one client specifically. I used to massage her before Massage Heights. She used to have extremely bad sciatic pain. Had gone to many different doctors trying to figure out like how to get quote fixed,
Mm-hmm.
and none of those treatments worked. And then she started seeing me as a massage therapist, and we worked on a lot of like the muscle attachment grooves, like through like the lower lumbar,
Mhm.
going into like the pelvis and stuff. And then she started to slowly feel better from just the massage and none of the chiropractic care, none of the. She used to be on these like DRX 9000 machines that were like trying to like stretch her out and all the things,
Yes.
and they would just make it worse.
Yep.
So it was just like simple massage, connecting to the right muscles is what fixed her problem. None of the other fancy stuff out there.
Isn't that
So
amazing?
it was
I
just
I may
a
need to
simple
come see
solution.
you this week if I have time. I'm battling something that
Okay.
I can't decide if it's sciatica or if it's a hip flexor thing or if it's bursitis. I don't know. But I've been getting massage and that's helped. But then it's not helping 100%. So then I
Yeah.
went to chiropractic and they started doing the dry needling on me
Yep.
and that's really not helping. So
Yeah,
I think I need to just come back to massage.
massage is weird. Like, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but like when people come to me and they tell me these are my problems, I actually will take the information and throw it in the trash in my brain
Yeah.
because I'm like the muscles themselves and how they're feeling is going to speak more to me.
Uh-huh.
You might feel it here, but the problem is somewhere
Somewhere
else.
else.
So I
Yep.
usually will take all that information and toss it away and be like, I'm just going to focus on what other muscles telling me, and then I work it that way.
I think that's a good thing. There was nothing wrong with saying that. I was going to tell Chris to cut it, but I think
Yeah,
I
no.
think that's a really good thing. I actually go in and I tell my therapist, here's all the places that I feel pain,
Yeah.
but I don't say work on that. You know,
Right.
I let them do what they need
Yeah,
to do.
because some clients will be like, do
yeah,
this
just do
specific
this.
thing.
I
Yeah.
want you only to work on my back for 30
Yeah, and it's like
minutes or whatever.
that's not what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so.
somewhere else, and you have to have that autonomy to be able to figure that out and do what's needed.
No, yeah, for sure.
I agree. Getting outside of our guests and members, well, still applying to guests and members, but not in the way of how massage directly impacts them. What do you think it takes to build loyalty with guests? What keeps them coming back?
What keeps them coming back? I mean, I think customers nowadays aren't looking for I just want this one simple thing. Like they want to build relationships with us as employees too.
Mm-hmm.
So like, talk about Michelle. Michelle knows almost all of the clients like names that come in,
Mm-hmm.
and she knows like she'll sit down on the sofa and talk to them. And so it's not more just like, oh, you're this person who just takes my money from me. It's like, yes, they understand that like, yeah, she takes their money from them, but like she'll ask them simple questions too. So they're looking for more, I guess, more of like a family type of a place to go into
Mm-hmm.
versus I think how some businesses have lost like that little touch that I guess that human touch
Yeah.
in there. It's just more like
Yep. Transactional versus
like
relational. Yeah.
I've been inside of a massage envy one time,
Mm-hmm.
and in school we were required to go get a massage there. And I remember my experience there, and all the front desk person did was like, "Oh, are you here for your appointment?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Okay, here you go. Fill this out." Okay,
Yeah.
I sat down, filled it out, came back, turned it in, and then at the end, she's like, "Okay, it's gonna be like I don't know,
However much, yeah.
$55 or whatever it was," and she's like, "Okay, bye."
No relationship building.
And I was
in
like,
there.
"Okay, yeah."
Yeah.
And the therapist was a good therapist, but you could tell that even the therapist like was distanced in
Mhm.
general too. So I was like,
Interesting.
it was very interesting where we like going back to the basics, like opening the door for people and be like, hey, do you want to use the restroom? Shake their hand, take them back, like listen to them, figure out why they're here, take the information in, come back, like do a good job. And then like, hey, I usually will tell them, I want to see you back in this amount of time. It's not just like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
So
Building the rapport and trust
building
and
rapport.
making recommendations, right? So,
Yes, making
because you guys
recommendations.
have so much power there and influence on whether a guest will come back. One, whether the massage is the kind of massage they needed or not, right?
Right. That's usually the big one.
Yeah,
but
so setting them up with the right therapist for that type of massage, and then delivering a good experience, but also just that recommendation of I need to see you next week or in 2 weeks or whatever it is, because that's what it's going to take to get rid of this problem.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where most clients already know that information, so
Yeah.
they're like, "Hey, I've got an appointment scheduled. I'll see you in like 2 or 3 weeks." So it makes my job easier.
Yeah.
But like, I put that work in the beginning. So like 4 or 5 years ago, when I saw a lot of people, you tell them the information, and it's a habit now for them to want to come in. I mean, there are clients who I'll see them like 7 weeks later because they'll have to cancel an appointment. They're like, "I know I was supposed to come in like forever ago. I had to miss it." And so they'll just book a longer appointment because they knew I would have already told them, like, we'll book a 2-hour instead or a 90-minute instead. So they're all pretty good. I don't have to babysit my clients at all.
Well, since we'll go off the questions a little bit, but since you already have a clientele built up, you've got a book built up of people that you're seeing on a regular basis.
I still get new people, though.
Yeah, I'm sure you do still see some. But so, what advice would you give to a newer massage therapist as it relates to building up the client book, getting people to come back and see them?
I would say be optimistic. A lot of newer therapists are scared to talk to people. They are like, well, what if they don't like the massage? And I'm like, no, you should know that they're gonna enjoy the massage. Like, do the best job that you can do on that person, and be honest with them. Hey, when I was working on you, I felt X, Y, and Z on you. I wasn't able to get to this because I was focusing on that. And I was like, just talk to them like they're a person. I was like, if you don't tell them that information, they're just not gonna know.
Yeah.
Like that experience I had where they were just like, okay, bye. Like, yeah, they worked on my body, but I had no idea in their mind what were they thinking or feeling. Like, yeah, I'm a therapist, I can think it through now, but like at the time back then, I just showed up and I didn't know. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you arm people like with that knowledge nowadays, it's their choice to whether to continue to see that therapist or go see something different. Or let's say, for instance, if you're a therapist, I know there was an instance where I think not at our store, I forgot. It was, I think one of the Massage Heights where someone was like, "Hey, I think there's something going on here," and it turned out to be like they had cancer. Like if that person had not told
Yeah.
that person, like just
Yes.
not communicated, they would have never known.
No.
So like, just don't be afraid to talk to people. Just
Yep.
let the words come out of your mouth.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, somebody I know in franchising was a member at one of our retreats in Florida. And the day I met her, she said, "Oh my gosh, I've got to tell you a story. You have a massage therapist that saved my life." I said, "What?"
Maybe that was.
And she said she was getting ready to go to the Indy 500. She goes every year. She went to get a massage at the retreat that she always goes to, same massage therapist. And the therapist felt something in her leg. And
This is the story.
yeah,
I remember
and
hearing about this.
she told her, she said, "Do not get on the airplane to the Indy 500. You need to go to the hospital. I am certain." And certainly it was a clot. And anyways, it's literally saved her life. That's
Wow.
just that's what massage therapy can do. And there's there's other stories that are very similar to that.
Yeah, but like for new people, it's just communicate, just talk to them.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to know. Like people don't want to be oblivious anymore to things, especially when all the disease and stuff or illnesses that people have in general. People want to know if you feel anything abnormal with them because if you arm them with the information, they have a choice to fix it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what would be the number one thing you would tell a therapist that was considering Massage Heights as employment versus others? Is there something that you would say about Heights that would encourage them to become a team member with us versus going someplace else? Is there a differentiator that you feel is important for people to know?
One of the things that I think Massage Heights pushes more than other places that I have friends that I've worked at, or when I was like in the medical practice where like doctors are telling you what to do, is you kind of have more leeway to create and build your own platform for people. In sports and medical, they're like the doctor's like, "You're gonna do blah 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 blah. This is what you're gonna focus on today." So even if you felt tension in different places, it didn't matter because the doctor told you
This is
this
happening.
is what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Where working at Massage Heights, you can build custom massages for different people, and then kind of like, I don't want to say be your own boss, but in you can kind of do whatever you want and see the results that you're doing on somebody versus like you're just a robot. Like in the
You have
medical
the
and sports
autonomy
world.
really to treat
Yeah.
that person the way that you want. Is that what you're
you
saying?
can. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That's, which is actually it sounds simple and kind of dumb, but it's what keeps me here because I'm like my clients trust me enough now because I've done work with them for so long that if anything bad were to happen to me, they'd be like, "What do you mean he's sick? He needs to come into work. I need a massage today." So.
Yeah. Is there anything else? Anything else that you would share with somebody that's considering Massage Heights as a profession? What would you say that might be encouraging to them to come on board? I mean, I'm sure that you're a lead massage therapist. You're training new therapists at various locations.
Well, usually I'll ask them about their experiences. We do have quite a few therapists that have come to us from other competitors. And I actually asked them to share their experiences with me, like what was it like being there. And most of them were not very positive at other places. And then I'm like, "Oh, well, this is what we do here." So I can only talk about what we do at John's stores. I don't know what other retreats are like, but I just talk about like what we do differently. And like, if you have any questions, like feel free to speak up to me, which it's going to sound very simple. Like, I'm like, "Okay, like here's my number. Call me if you have any questions." Like sometimes they're like, "Yeah, no, we never got that." Like just that simple, like you can call me.
Yeah.
You can talk to me, like, or in between sessions, like come to me. Like they have worked with previous leads or different managers that were like, they were zoned in on a specific thing and don't talk to me if I'm doing massages. I'm like, I walk out of the room. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
Yeah.
I'll see them in the hallway and I'm like, "Do you have any
You're open and
questions?"
available to
Yeah.
them.
So it sounds simple, but like just being open and honest with people is enough sometimes.
Yeah.
People are very simple. They
Yeah,
just want simple things.
transparency.
Yeah.
Yeah, authenticity, right? What's your favorite Massage Heights value? Loyal, authentic, passionate, or diligent?
I would say passion
Yeah.
out of all of them, because if you don't have passion in what you're doing, you're going to get bored. Uh, Going back, you won't be authentic to yourself. You won't be diligent in the things that you do. You won't be loyal at all to anybody. I mean, so passion is the biggest one for a lot of therapists, because you can just, I've been in the industry long enough where I can tell if someone's like not passionate anymore about what they're doing. They get sloppy, lazy. They start getting the customer complaints. And it's more so like, well, why did their passion die? Is it anything that we did, or just life that they're going through? And so a lot of therapists, I feel like they need their passion like reinvigorated, figuring out like remembering like why you got into this in the first place.
The why.
Because they just go, eventually you don't want ever a therapist to just go through the motions. Like, well, I'm just coming to work. I'm doing these simple things. Like, got to talk to them and be like, hey,
so
what's
your
going
why?
on?
What's your why?
Why I still do what I do. I love people. So
Yeah,
it's very simple.
The people piece of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems to be a common theme with our successful locations and our successful therapists, that they really love people. Nate Connect called himself a peoplepreneur, you know, and I think
I remember that. Yeah.
it's true. You gotta love people to do what we do. And especially what our massage therapists do.
Yeah.
You know. Well, thank you so much today for being on. I appreciate it, and I hope you had a little fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You seem like a natural in front of the camera.
I just showed up. I was like, we'll figure it out.
Well, that's it. All you have to do is answer questions to
Yeah.
answers that you already have, right? So
I feel like I'm doing a massage, except, usually people ask me these questions too while I'm massaging. Like, how'd you get into this? And I'm like, just working on them at the time. I just tell them.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, you know your story.
yeah, I
You
know my
your
story.
You just,
Yeah.
just answer the questions. Well, I appreciate it, Edin. You have been really kind of almost a staple in the company. You've been here over
Oh,
5 years,
yeah.
and for sure, I know
More.
really
It'll be
important.
more now,
yeah,
right?
over 5 years, and really important to John and,
Hopefully
and
10,
the
20.
team. Yeah, I hope so. So we're happy to have you engaged on the Therapist Ambassador panel, and I know you're going to help make us better. And so thank you for your commitment and time to that, and we'll look forward to seeing you in Miami.
I know, I'm excited. I'm super excited.
It's going to be awesome. All right, Massage Heights family, now that you've heard from us, we would love to hear from you. If there are any guests or topics that you would like to hear from or about, please email us at communications@massageheights.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you do not miss any episodes. You don't want to miss the information that we're sharing. Thank you, and as always, elevate the everyday.